Every day we hear stories about congressional gridlock. Partisanship and politics have led to paralysis, they tell us. Many of these statements come from members of Congress themselves. There is one notable exception to this narrative, however, and that happens to be veterans issues. The Republicans and the Democrats on the House and the Senate VA committee have a record to be proud of. They realize that patriotism trumps partisanship. On the stage of our national convention, the President of the United States signed the 2017 Appeals Modernization Act. That would not have happened if the two major parties had not come together and passed this life-changing legislation. The same with the Harry Comrie GI Bill and the Accountability Act, both of which are now laws. But we are here today to discuss another example of bipartisan success, the American Legion 100th Anniversary Commemorative Coin Act, which is now a law. There are those who question why the American Legion put so much energy and focus into passing a centennial coin bill. The answer is rather simple and veteran-centric. The funds generated from this coin will directly help our nation's heroes and their families. The legislation that was signed into law on Friday by President Trump was spearheaded by 4 devoted members of Congress who value the American Legion and our veterans: Representative Phil Rowe, Representative Tim Walz, Senator Joe Donnelly, and Senator Todd Young. The American Legion is very honored and proud that the 2 senators from our host state led this massive effort in the U.S. Senate. And that being said, today we have the great privilege of having with us the lead sponsor of this bill in the Senate, Senator Young. Senator Todd Young is a proud Marine Corps veteran who stands up and defends service members, veterans, and their families. And he is a Legionnaire. When asked to lead this veteran-centric effort, it took him all but 10 seconds to say yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed honor and privilege to introduce our friend, Senator Todd Young.
Well, good morning, fellow patriots, good morning. Fellow Hoosiers, and fellow Legionnaires. So let me begin by congratulating our commander, the first female commander of this organization. What an outstanding leader she happens to be, and I'm looking forward to her tenure, and we'll continue to do some good together, no doubt. It really is an honor to be with everyone here today. I thank all of you for your service to the country, both in uniform and today, as we try and serve our veterans the best we can. I thank you for your advocacy. It really does matter on Capitol Hill and beyond. That includes your work on the American Legion 100th Anniversary Commemorative Coin Act. Now, Commander Rohan mentioned my colleagues, Senator Donnelly and Representatives Rowe and Walz, and I thank them so much. Politics is a team sport, and you cannot get consequential things done unless you're working in a bipartisan way on behalf of the common good. They all worked very hard on this bill. Now, there's one thing that they can't do, and our Commander-in-Chief can't do either, however. All right. It is a great source of pride to me as someone who grew up in this area, as someone who spends a great deal of time right around here, that the national headquarters of the American Legion is right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. It really is. Some 84,000 Hoosiers are members of the American Legion. American Legion posts are fixtures in many Hoosier communities, and Legion members continue to demonstrate the values of patriotism, honor, duty, and sacrifice throughout our great state. I have to say, my grandfather, who was a member of the Zionsville Post, spent his later years, much to the chagrin of my grandmother, at the Legion. And I'll say to our national commander, it was clear to me even at that young age that the ladies ran the shop, all right? So in this audience, we're blessed to have multiple generations of veterans who served our country with distinction on battlefields throughout the world, from Omaha Beach to Fallujah. Thank you. These different These different generations of veterans grew up in different times with different technologies. The wars were in many ways different, but they've been united and will remain united by the same call to service to our country. Each of you answered that call. You represent the best of our country. I'm blessed to be with so many Hoosier veterans today. As a veteran myself, I'm also honored to serve and to represent you in the United States Senate. The American Legion is a critical advocate for veterans and for promoting the values of patriotism and service. And as the father of four, that means a lot to me. Legion members are instrumental in the betterment of our communities and our nation as a whole. For almost 100 years, Legion members have served our country and communities, including securing passage of landmark veterans legislation. The GI Bill, for example. The GI Bill helped open the doors of college and the middle class for millions of veterans. The GI Bill still assists veterans as they return from service today. I'm particularly impressed by the Legion's 4 pillars: Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, National Security, Americanism, and Children and Youth. The 4 pillars help to develop essential values of patriotism, duty, and honor in current and future generations of Americans. Through your commitment, collectively and individually, your commitment to supporting and caring for our veterans, protecting our national security, promoting patriotism and American values, and providing valuable programs for our children, the American Legion reminds us of what is best about America. Now, all of that's not news to most of you, but I want all Hoosiers to understand why the American Legion is such an important part of our national fabric. It's why it's so important to me to co-sponsor this Commemorative Coin Act. I was honored when representatives from your organization approached me about introducing the bill to honor the 100th anniversary of the Legion in 2019. The bill is revenue neutral, which is what they say in Washington for it don't cost no money, right? And additional proceeds from the sale of these coins will go right back into the work that the Legion is doing, and that's really important, folks. Now, you may be surprised to hear this, but this commemorative coin bill, like all commemorative coin bills, is not exactly easy to get through Congress. Right? It's a coin bill. It's to help veterans. You'd think that would be a piece of cake. But commemorative coin bills require at least 67 senators to co-sponsor and at least 290 members of the House of Representatives to co-sponsor before they can be considered before either chamber. That's a pretty heavy lift during these times. When's the last time you saw 67 senators agree on anything? Maybe the right pudding flavor in the United States Senate. I don't know, right? Or 290 members of the House. Yet through hard work by our offices and the relentless efforts and advocacy of the American Legion and your membership, we were able to secure 75 co-sponsors in the Senate, 75, and 385 in the House. Now, we're dealing with a bit of a timeline. Just for the record, I think we could have ran up the score even more, all right? So that really tells you something about how highly regarded the Legion is on Capitol Hill. There's no partnership when it comes to supporting the Legion and our veterans that I think is more important. And there's certainly no partisanship when it comes to veterans issues, and there should not be. Our veterans are not an interest group. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a great honor to have led this effort and to have worked with the American Legion on this commemorative coin. With that, I'll stop talking. I look forward to continuing to work together on behalf of our veterans. Semper Fidelis. Hoorah.